And it's like, nah, I don't need that. I just got this money machine over here. I'm not bothered about carrots. Taxes.
Whoa, you just come up with that concept.
Taxes.
Bring in like, look at this idiot.
Look at this idiot.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Welcome to Business Anchors, episode 27, the show where a couple of business owners have an honest chat about the weird world of business. Today we're talking about how much we earn, what we do with our money, and I'm going to try and start a revolution. You happy for me to start a revolution? I didn't actually ask you permission if I could start a revolution.
I'm excited to hear about that.
Okay, cool.
Why is there a stigma around money? We're talking about money in this episode.
Yeah.
I think there's people get a bit weird when you speak about money, and including myself.
Yeah.
Why?
You mean money that you
As in,
earn?
like, how much do you earn? What do you do with your money? I think just everything around talking about money.
I think it's because mostly the money that people earn isn't fair. So I think everyone's embarrassed about what they earn. So I think there's one side, people get paid lots of money for easy jobs.
Yeah.
I say easy. It's on a scale, isn't it? And some people get paid not much for working incredibly hard and dealing with rubbish stuff. So I think.
So is it like the judgment from the outside world of if you were to talk about your money, people are worried that they're going to be judged in different ways?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's both ways. Either you're embarrassed because you are earning more than a lot of people and it's not necessarily justified or fair that you're earning that much, or you feel embarrassed that you're not earning enough. If you're earning less than your peers around you or less than society kind of says you should be able to, I think you feel like you're doing something wrong or you'll be judged for doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. I think it's both ways, and I think it's because of the unfairness. Really, there's no way of saying, "Oh, right, let's do this test on your forehead." Cool, you've worked 87 out of 100 hard today. Okay, here's £87.
I'll totally be 100.
Yeah, I'd be £4 again. All right. So that's where I think it comes from.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Personally, what do you think?
I think it is about judgment. I think, I'd say I swing more on the side of people judging me for what I earn and so thinking, am I good enough? Like, oh, you earn that much, but is that good enough? Are you? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think especially as business owners, and even I think it's funny. Obviously, we experienced this like friends and family. Now that we've got a team of us, there's six of our permanent team here, and we have other people that we work with. I think people immediately go from thinking you earn nothing to you're a millionaire, and there's a whole lot in between, and I certainly haven't reached that top part yet.
Yeah.
So I do feel there's a bit of that expectation as a business owner that people expect. Good, yeah, you must be smashing it. Also making videos online, people immediately think you must be successful.
Yeah.
Financially, I find people's expectations are very high.
Yeah. But I think because we're good at positioning ourselves with the best foot forward because we're good at marketing, so it's not like those people are stupid. It's like, what we're doing is working by presenting our best bits.
Yeah.
And
it's also interesting because kind of what you earn year to year isn't necessarily a good indicator of success, if you know what I mean. So I know obviously some business owners, I was reading about one of the big businesses this year. I think it's Brewdog actually. Yeah. Like they've had a hugely successful year, but I think the guys running it haven't taken any salary this year. So you look at it and go, cool, you're at zero. What a failure.
Yeah.
But actually in reality, they're obviously, I think they had two things they're aiming for. One was to make sure they save as many jobs as possible during the pandemic. So obviously they're making sure they achieve that goal. So like success by not paying themselves, so that money can pay for other wages.
We're doing a similar thing though. Like we could have taken double the salary, but we're trying to invest back in the business and in the team, and then
this year we definitely could have taken double, and that might have, if we're talking about money, if someone asked how much do you earn, that might have sounded better or more successful. But it was when you have the deeper conversation of, okay, so we could have earned that much this year, and then we'd probably earn similar amount next year.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously we've invested into other people's wages in our team.
Yeah.
New kit, new stuff we invest into to make our business really good. That's a technical term. And obviously the idea is that you build a business and then, later on you earn much more than that. But
I've started, something interesting's happened over the last year or so. And I remember one of the first guys that asked me it, I felt really awkward and didn't know what to say in a sales meeting, directly saying, what's your business revenue? What's the revenue you're turning over? And I think, especially when we were smaller, when it wasn't what we wanted it to be, and it's still, I'm happy with it, but we're still aiming for a lot more. It's quite an awkward question. And I even just had a sales call and they asked on that call, and now I'm a lot more confident in saying that this is our revenue, because I think it's a good way for a business to gauge sort of your size.
I think it's a really clever and really harsh question at the same time, because like when we were growing and trying to look really good, and you're always trying to look the best you can, talking about your best clients that you've worked with, talking about your best results, and in reality, as your business grows, you might be talking about your best client and best result. Oh, I've done this, so I can do it for you. In reality, that might make up 2% of the work you've done. And you actually, maybe you're only working with 4 clients at the moment, but you're doing some good work. And it kind of, then you're judged. You're talking about this good stuff. How much,
They should be asking about profit, though. It's for an even more clever question. Because we could be, the client's ad spend could be through, we could class that as them paying us for ad spend, and it's millions. So that's what some businesses do. And then, you turn over millions. It's like, that's just ad spend.
That's the thing. We could make a small tweak to how we run our business
to make it look like we turn over millions.
We could invoice our clients' ad spend and pay it through our books, and suddenly we'd look like we have a business 4 times as big. So I suppose you can fudge, but I find it interesting. I think the sort of people that ask that question in a pitch or presentation that you're going to work with are the sort of people that really know what they're doing and are confident, and they are just not bothered about niceties necessarily. They just want to find the right person.
And something I got, going off a slight tangent but on this point, something I got from the sales call I just had was with, I'm not going to say exactly who it was, but some really nice guys who were genuinely nice people, got on really well. And they kept reinforcing the fact that 70% of their decision of who they work with is the person and the people, is if they trust them.
Oh God, we got no chance with you. Then.
No, it seemed like it went well, and I think that's so right. And just the fact that now we feel confident in talking about more confident in talking about money and the revenue and stuff. You come across that you're not sort of, oh no, I don't want to speak about that. You come across more honest, and you don't seem like you're stressed at talking about money.
I think we are fortunate now with where our business is. Like, we've got nothing to hide. When I say we've got nothing to hide, as if when we're smaller we're hiding like loads of weird. But
if you're a marketing company saying you help other companies grow and you're small and
it's easier. But relatively, Dan, we are a small business.
Sorry, But I'm comparing.
But I know what you mean. Like, when we started out, and it was
room.
just us two, and like a lot of businesses that are one person and a bit of part-time help or something, it can be it does feel like you have to hide, and I need to appear bigger so that people trust me.
But I think you shouldn't, on reflection, you shouldn't look down on that, because I think it's all relative. Like now we're pitching to work with some of the biggest brands in the world, compared to then we're pitching to work with a lot smaller companies who wouldn't expect to have the budget to work with companies who
So money. How much do you need then?
Oh, for what?
How much do you need?
How much do I need?
I guess how much?
That's a difficult question.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking,
though, what, just to survive?
Oh, is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Do you know why I think it's hard to answer? Because I think it's hard to ever stop feeling like you need more. Personally, I think you earn what you earn, you have whatever money you have, and your brain starts to get used to that, and then you think that you need more than you have. I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think the more you earn, the more you tend to spend. And then it's, you know, let's say your weekly shop, you say you don't earn a huge amount and you spend X amount and you get all, you know, Tesco's value stuff because you need, or whatever. And then so let's say you double your income, you get promoted, you then might shop at M&S and spend triple that. And that's just normal. Yeah. It's all relative to...
I think so.
Just like when you hear about millionaires who, you know, they might... I watched a program about really expensive cruises, and one of the suite or whatever they called it, it was something ridiculous, like 20 grand a night in this cruise ship that was like a huge, massive rooms and stuff. But that sounds mental. But then if you earn, you know, 100 million a year, that's just nothing, and that's a nice little treat.
That's the thing, because earning like 5 million a year wouldn't be enough for that person, because they'd be like, well, how am I going to pay for my
20 grand a night
cruise
exactly.
room? Yeah, of course that's not enough. Yeah.
Do you remember when we started out and Dad advised us on how much we should charge a day, and we were both like, that's absolutely mental, because we were...
I shat myself even thinking of mentioning charging hundreds of pounds a day.
Lloyd, this is why I manage the sales, because Lloyd just gets really scared when he speaks about money wants to give everything away for free.
But I think it's the shift.
Oh, please, we'll do it for free.
Because we both come from being employed. It's the shift in mindset and how it works, I think. Yeah. Because immediately I was thinking, you know, you look at your salary or your monthly pay or whatever and think, this is how much I earn a day. And then you hear that nut. So I think Dad originally said you need to charge at least £250 a day.
And we gasped.
So the immediate thing is thinking, hang on, that's crazily more than I was earning in my previous job. Like, why would anyone pay that? But it's
all the costs around that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the fact that you're not going to work every day at that rate. You'll also have to do a load of prep for that day that might take days to do. Yeah. You've also got all the time to do your finance, your accounting, and your marketing, and your own business.
Your own marketing costs.
All these unpaid days. So a load of people just take that 250 and times it by 365 and go, oh, it
doesn't work like that.
You earn like 90,000 a year or something.
Good maths.
Yeah, not really sure. I think it's around that. And then you're like, well, there are weekends, and I only earned that one day a week on average, so I earned like £10,000 that year. Yeah. But yeah, I remember when Dad first said that, I was basically talking to him like, that is stupid. Yeah. No one would ever pay anyone like that. And then now looking at it, it's like low.
It's so weird. Like, if you're listening to this and you get a weird feeling when it comes to talking about money, especially if you run a business. I've found one of the best ways that has given me huge confidence in saying, you know, a lot more than that now, is the confidence and evidence of the value you provide, is having that evidence. When we started out, and, you know, you always take the piss and say, oh, I'm Dad and I run a business, of the videos of me when I had didn't look like I knew what I was doing.
Because you didn't.
I didn't know what I was doing. And you're trying to convince people, we could help you with your marketing. Yeah. When you have no evidence. Yeah. That's a lot more difficult to show that you're confident in what you're charging. Whereas now when we have evidence to say, this is what you'd invest, this is the return on investment. Yeah. It's easy to say that's 50 grand, that's 100 grand, because you've got evidence. And, you know, if someone gasps that and says, we haven't got that, then they're not you haven't qualified them correctly.
It's funny because when you can say something's 50,000, but this will make you 200,000 or 300,000. It doesn't sound like a lot at all. No. What a great deal. Yeah. But if you're saying something's 50,000, or you're saying 50,000, like you would have, and you have no evidence to show that it's going to amount to anything for their business, you're just saying, I can do good stuff.
It's funny, like, looking back, I'm trying to think, how on earth did I have the confidence to say any amount of money to anyone when I had no evidence that whatever we did worked?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking,
it's ridiculous.
Like, when your first year in business, when you're just trying to work with people for the first time, what are the answers to the question? When they say, how do you know this work? How do you know we're going? You know, it must just be, I am confident in my own ability that this will work. Okay, who have you worked with before?
No one.
I have worked with one person and it's gone well. So you can be the second.
Yeah, I think it's a case of putting your best foot forward, though, and trying to, being honest and
And I think a lot of clients we work with, like in the first year, got a very good deal because actually we weren't confident to charge more, but did some good work, and then
went over
and then
above.
they got very good value. So I suppose it works both ways.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah,
does money motivate you?
it motivates me to an extent because I think I'm going to try and sound like a philosopher now.
Yeah.
There are only two amounts of money in this world.
Is this your philosopher voice?
Yeah. Either you have enough or you do not have enough.
Ooh.
Or as Yoda says, enough you have or enough you haven't. So I think money motivates me to get to the point where I feel comfortable and not stressed about not having the money I need to do things I want to do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. I think you're probably more motivated to have more money than I am. I kind of like once I've got enough to be happy and content and not stressed.
Yeah.
I don't think much more makes me motivates me more. If you know what I mean. But then I still strangely, I guess it does motivate me to get more money. I'm thinking I want to grow this business and want to have more money in the bank from the success of this business. But I think it motivates me because I want to be able to work less and still have enough money in the future.
Yeah.
So it motivates me like that.
Yeah.
Does it motivate you?
Yeah, I think money's a much bigger motivator for me than you. I just think it gives you a lot more opportunity and options, and there's so much I want to do in my life that not just it's not I think when I started in business I was motivated by money, like, oh, I'll buy a really nice car. Now I'm more like if we had like when we have loads more money, we can invest in different businesses and do cool stuff and like travel the world and have more options of things to have a more fulfilling life. But I think I attach success a lot more with money, whereas I know you don't in previous conversations.
Like the feeling of success relating to like the money in your bank account.
I also think it's on this topic of what motivates you, it's really interesting to try and analyze and reflect on yourself of what actually motivates you. Because there's someone called Kerry who runs a company called Gemology Rocks, who we've been working with for a while now, and we had a really interesting conversation. We do these like weekly coaching calls and stuff, and she's been really like going over and above to apply all of the advice that we've shared, and really she's absolutely killing it. And I remember last week on the call I sort of said to her, why are you doing all this good stuff? Because whatever that reason is, try and remember it and bottle it. And what we realized was quite interesting. And she told me this as well in a separate message. She said what she realized motivates her is getting a pat on the head from people she respects, and she respects us. So like that weekly call of me saying, have you done the stuff you should be doing to achieve what you want to achieve? And her being like, I've done this, I've done that. And I'm like, wow, this is so good. That pat on the head, which sounds ridiculous, but I can totally resonate because I need a pat on the head.
You should both sit underneath a cow.
Wow.
Dad joke?
Yeah. That was terrible.
Pat on the head. Oh.
You twat. But I think having that pat on the head and knowing what your pat on the head is going to help. Like, for example...
what gives you that feeling inside of like, I want to do that more? Analysing
myself, and I'd be interested to know what your pat on the head is. I one of my biggest pats on the head, inverted commas, is when a customer says, yep, we want to go ahead with that 50 grand project. That internally, I literally get a rush of excitement, and then I chase that feeling again, which is why I love sales. Another pat on the head for me is when a client says really good stuff about working with us, and we can shout about it. Like recently I did a strategy with a company called Allow List, and Stuart did a whole post saying, oh, it was really good. That pat on the head for me gives me an internal motivation to want to get more of those pats on the head. What's your pat on the head?
While you were talking, I was trying to work out what mine is.
You're completely different to me, though. There must be. I guess it's the thing of what you don't need pats on the head, do you? in terms of like an actual, well done, Lloyd, good work. You don't need that, do you?
I think that's probably the biggest difference. I think my pats on the head are intrinsic.
Yeah.
Like that outside stuff happening gives you that feeling, whereas I think mine comes from inside. I'm trying to think what.
But like, okay, put it this way. So I'd say across the last either year or 2 years, I reckon you've doubled the amount of effort you put into growing this business, and there's been a complete switch in your mind, and I can completely tell you're so all in on this, whereas you weren't as much as you are now before. What motivated you to do that? And it wasn't me going, oh yeah, God, Lloyd, you can do it.
I think there's a couple of things. One thing was my level of enjoyment.
Oh,
so
okay.
my role has changed a lot. I used to
do everything.
So I used to be the person. So right now I would have had to have headphones on to check the audio of the podcast.
Whilst you're recording
I'd have to have a screen flipped around to see the video of the podcast. Could I also be recording it? And
that sounds rubbish.
So yeah, I used to handle the video side of our business for clients and for us and everything. And now I do. My role is much more what I enjoy. So obviously leading our team and managing our team to deliver all that great stuff, and they're all much better than I was at all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Interesting.
And kind of having my job as basically growing the business and making sure it's working. So yeah, I think that's the main thing. I enjoy it more, which I would have never expected because I'm like, creative and stuff. Yeah. I thought me being behind the camera and doing that stuff would be the enjoyable stuff. But I really, I don't know. I like working with people. So now that we've built our team up and it's more of that, maybe that's part of it. But and the other side, I think, is my lifestyle and situation. So when I had a very young child, like I would say you're in right now, Dan, I think it's hard to give like absolutely everything to the business because you're more tired and have a little pooing machine that constantly needs energy. Whereas now my little boy's 4. It's I know that's still a young child. He doesn't just I don't just pack him off at the start. They go right, come back before 10. But yeah, I think it takes less brain energy at home, so I'm able to put more to it. So yeah, a bit of a ramble there, but I think
it's
interesting.
It's
those two things.
I think something actionable anyone listening can do is figure out what your pat on the head is. I think that as a tiny little action that you can even think about whilst you're driving along in your car now or wherever you're listening, to understand your motivation, then you can do more of it. Why are you laughing at me? You're smirking at me.
I was smiling because I was imagining people in their car driving thinking, oh, what's my pat on the head? And I just thought that's a nice moment for you. So enjoy that, guys. So we got to that from motivation and does money motivate you and stuff. So I want to ask, what is you said that money does motivate you.
Yeah.
So what's your plan in life to make sure you've got enough?
My plan in life is, well, in terms of money, it's there's different streams. So my main stream is this business.
Yeah.
And figuring out, which we have, what do we need to do to achieve what we want to achieve? And that's the 2030 plan that we've developed, and ensuring that we're doing everything we need to for that.
So just to clarify for people that haven't listened to previous episodes, the 2030 plan is a plan to make sure we get to the business to a point in 2030 where if we wanted to, which I don't necessarily think we will want to, but we could sell the business and have a chunk of money, or just have the business to a point where we could step away a bit and be earning enough to have a nice life, basically.
Yeah, so that's one stream. I remember I did, and I'll tell you another stream in a second. Recently I have really thought about what are my goals for this year. And I've kind of named this, which I told you on our walk, the year of investment, because I feel like I'm in a position where I want to be investing in certain things. One of them is investing time and energy in this business, which is the main bulk of my thing. Another thing is I'm currently selling my house. I want to invest in a new house that I can add value to. Another thing I did recently was invest in Bitcoin, which I can't believe I'm actually saying this because the amount of spam you get, invest in Bitcoin. But that's something I'm invested in, and I want to just leave that for the next 10, 20 years and see what happens with that.
Make sure you remember where you put your login details.
Yeah.
I'll tell that story on another podcast.
Oh, I think you should tell that story now.
I can't.
Okay.
That's that. I know that's weird and mysterious, but there's a reason I can't. I'll tell you later on, guys.
So that's another stream. Another thing is I want, and we can talk more about this, the business to invest in property with the profits we've generated and we're going to generate. But yeah, I think there's a few different streams of activity that I'm focusing on, and some of them are going to take years and years to develop. What about you?
Interesting.
How are you going to ensure you've got enough?
Well, same as you, because you basically copied me.
No, I did not. I didn't talk about pensions, actually.
No.
You're much bigger on pensions than me.
Yeah, I was very boring, I think 2 years ago, and sat down and did a massive spreadsheet on...
You're way more organised than me.
On how much I would need to kind of... Basically, how much money I'd need to obtain in my working life to live comfortably...
Yeah.
Later in life. So similarly to you, like I've got my the business, growing the business, and then money from that, and pensions, and I kind of calculated, right, I need to be putting this much in, and it goes up each year as we're
so I'm joking.
And
no, this is interesting.
And yeah, like property and paying off the mortgage, and how much that's going to help, and when that will be paid off, so that I don't have to be paying a mortgage and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the plan really. All that normal boring stuff, but kind of having a plan now. When when I did it, I would have been 29. Could have been, if I did that when I was 21, that'd be much more sensible and be much easier.
But I think you're analysing you. I think you're really good at planning and stuff now with money. I think something you do that I don't do. You like budget stuff, and because you're more organised than me, each month you figure out what you're going to spend on this and that, and I just don't.
I do plan it, but my wife doesn't like to stick to it, so it doesn't always help.
Seems to get quite a few deliveries from things being ordered online.
Oh no, that's just that, and also clothes. It's like Sarah comes in wearing something I've never seen before. Like, oh, is that new? And it's always, oh no, I've had it in the wardrobe for ages. And I'm thinking, but you've definitely, this is the first time you've worn it, so surely that counts. Yeah. I've got a question for you. I want to move this on.
Go on.
Or do you want to ask me a question?
No, go on. That's good.
Okay. Do you think money works?
Does it work? In what sense?
In the world, does the concept of money work? This is where I'm starting a revolution, in case you're interested.
Well, I think... compared to, I'm just trying to think of what are the other options and what that would be like. So before money, cavemen.
Before money, I've got a field over here. I'm growing carrots.
Yeah.
You've got a forest over there. You're cutting down the trees, and so you got wood. And so if I wanted some wood, I'd say to you,
I'll give you 10 carrots for a bit of wood.
For that plank of wood, I'll give you 10 carrots. And either you'd go, great, bloody hell, I'd love to have some carrots, deal. Or you go, I don't need any carrots. And then I go, but I need some wood. And you go, but I don't need any carrots. And then it wouldn't work out.
I think the overall concept of trading, because money is basically trading, is it? But it's a different form of having value to trade. I think it works all right. But I know you're going to tell me that we should all share our carrots with wood.
So,
go on.
So, right. You ready?
How should the world be, Lloyd?
No, well, that's the funny thing is, I don't have any answers. I just want to pose questions.
Go on then.
No,
go on then.
I just think that. So money started out like that. It's like, I got carrots and you got wood. I don't want wood or carrots, but there you go. Okay, have this money, and then you can buy some turnips because you don't want my carrots. Okay. So it's like, great.
Yeah.
But now money's become the way that you can get money tends to always be from having money.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think it necessarily. So now in the world, I've got my carrots. You've got your wood. Yeah. And you've cut down all your trees and just got a load of money. And so just sold it.
I thought money wasn't a thing then.
No, but now it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So you just got a load of dosh.
Yeah.
And now I'm over here with my carrots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you want some carrots? because you've got loads of money,
Yeah.
and I need that money, and you'll just say, oh no, I've just bought 12 houses over there with my money, and each month now they just make me 10 times more money.
Yeah.
Oh, can buy some carrots then because I haven't got any money and I've got nothing but carrots.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I don't need that. I just got this money machine over here, not bothered about carrots. So I think that went in a strange direction that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
But I think rich people are buying pointless stuff because they've got so much, like, oh, I've got all these properties in London that are empty because, oh, they're my investment or my holiday home and stuff like that. But the other end of the scale can't afford to live in their cities because, I don't know, I just don't, does that work anymore? What's the point of... If
it was me, if I was Carrot Man, oh, no one's buying my carrots, I'd be thinking, I need to come up with a plan, understanding how the world works to get money to grow myself. But I know they say people have different...
But it's increasingly more and more as we move forward in time, as our society develops, what you're saying works for less and less people. So as the rich are getting richer constantly and the poor are getting poorer. So yes, you may be able to do that, but you're always going to be the minority. So is that good for any? Well, other than you, clever man. You're like, well, I've built this carrot crop. I've just put all this stuff in it that poisons everyone but makes massive carrots. So now my carrots sell for $10 per carrot. Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think you're a much nicer person than me, and you care about other people a lot more than me.
Do you think that's what it's about? Is that what it's about?
No, that's not what it's about. No, but I think. So what should happen then? You kind of have
if we've got enough food and houses in the world, we should all be able to access that.
Do you know what should happen?
What?
The people with the most carrots, they should pay an amount into a pot that gets spread between other people who don't have carrots.
Taxes.
Whoa, you just come up with that concept.
Taxes. Unfortunately, the big carrot farmers don't pay their taxes.
I know.
Yeah.
But the theory sounds like...
Yeah, but can I have your suggestions, guys, on how to improve society? Thank you. That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ask you another moral question?
Go on. No.
It's to do with money, though.
Go on, then.
If you could pay to have a COVID vaccine quicker, would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But what about our nan, who can't pay for it?
I'd give her the money to pay for it.
Oh, vaccines all round. Nice.
Yeah, I'm guessing you wouldn't, because it's morally wrong to be in a better position if you've got money to pay for healthcare, right?
Oh, kind of. I've obviously spoken to you about this sort of thing before, Dan.
No, I think your point is very valid. But my honest opinion is, if I'm lucky and fortunate enough to have got in a position where I can
expecting that answer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite to you as a human being.
So if Nan gets it, who else? Do I get it?
Yeah, anyone else who...
You're going to buy me a vaccine?
Well, it depends how much the vaccine is. How much are we talking?
I don't know. I assume this isn't possible. Is it possible?
It must be private. I mean, if you pay enough money. Boris Johnson's dad got it, didn't he? Before.
Did he?
Because he's in a position of power, yeah.
Interesting.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
When are you going to shave your tash off?
Oh, the listeners don't even know that I've got a tash. Listeners, just imagine the best facial hair I could possibly have. That's what's going on right now. I don't know. I'm getting bored of it already.
I think you should grow handlebars. You know,
really?
I think you look hilarious.
Is the idea for me to look hilarious?
I want you as like a mascot for Knowlton that we can bring in. Like, look at this idiot.
Look at this idiot. I like that. Oh, I've got this pitch. Like, can you just when I shout, just come in and look like an idiot for a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
I grew it to try and annoy my wife. She didn't really take the bait. I think we got a bit of a game going on where she knows I'm trying to wind her up by having a tash, so she's not reacting. But then that means I just keep it longer.
Yeah. It's coming to the end of the podcast now. Sorry, Lloyd. Mustache.
Mustache. I get that. Oh, great.
As bad as your jokes.
So, money makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got enough right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
Have you?
Let's all go home then. Yeah. Well, you know what Yoda says.
God, this will be a good end to the podcast.
Enough you have.
Then you do it in his voice.
Enough you have, or enough you haven't. I don't know why I have this accent. But currently we are lucky we have enough. And for some reason I'm German.
You're the German Yoda.
German Yoda I am.
Completely inappropriate for that mustache.
Listening, thank you for.
See you next week, guys.
Next week we'll see you. Auf Wiedersehen.